All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Good morning and welcome to this weekend's NASCAR Quick Hit here for Ship It Nation. I am Eric, also known as TheGame on Discord, and this morning we're going to be talking about the Saturday night race at Richmond Raceway, also known as the Cookout 400. But before we go ahead and break down tonight's slate, let me of course mention, you already know, us here at ShipItNation.com. Everything you need to have success with DFS for less. That's right, baby. One-stop shopping here at Ship It Nation. Every sport in the game today. The game, that's me. Haha, just kidding. MLB, PGA, MMA, NASCAR, NBA, NHL, college football, and NFL, with, of course, the NFL and college football quite literally being here. Preseason is on the way and regular season is around the corner. ShipItNation.com, all the sports like I mentioned. Saber Sim Optimizer, the greatest optimizer in the game today. Projections and ownership, the Stone 2.0, which is fantastic. Expert slate plans, showdown slate plans, discussions, projections, etc. Discord access from the greatest Discord community in DFS today, and education courses by Tambo, Hoop, and the rest of the gang at ShipItNation.com. If you haven't already joined already, you owe it to yourself. I didn't do that before with me on that. One second. Hey, we must have changed. Boom. All access plus optimizer here. Core packages, 5-day trial, just $19. 5 days, $19 for the all access plus optimizer plan. And it gives you everything. We don't, take things away from that plan. It gives you it all. So all access plus optimizer, as you see on the screen, for a trial for $19. We have starter plans, ultimate plans. We have content only. If you already have an optimizer or how you just hand build, we have content only plans, as well as single sport only plans. Do you only play PGA, NFL, NBA, MMA, Major League Baseball, NASCAR, or NHL, and you really don't want to dive into the other sports? I'm not sure why you would, because it's a blast to do so. But if so, single sport plans are also available. So one-stop shopping here at ShipItNation.com. Everything you need to have success with DFS for less. Tonight, you will find me, along with watching the Knoxville Nationals and the NASCAR Richmond race, in the MMA streets, because I do love to play me some MMA, and those boys do a fantastic job every Saturday. So, like I said, ShipItNation.com, one-stop shop for all things DFS. Now, let's go ahead and pivot back to the Cookout 400 at Richmond Raceway. Fun fact, Cookout, I've never been. There are no cookouts here in central Pennsylvania, and whenever I've passed a cookout, either A, going south or going west out towards Pittsburgh, I've never stopped. So let me know in the chat or in the comments if Cookout's any good, because I've never been. The NASCAR Cup Series is once again headed to a short flat track. I remember the days when Richmond was known as the action track, but to now it's just kind of known as Richmond Raceway, and they took all the fun branding away. So Richmond Raceway is tonight's track, short flat track. 400 laps on tap for tonight, which should equal out to roughly 280 Dominator points. We will absolutely want to target those. A little kind of key, once you get more laps in a race, that's kind of when you want to grab more Dominators. So 400 laps, 500 laps, Dominators are key. So tonight, 400 laps, 280 Dom points up for grabs. We will want to target those points. I'm recommending between 2 and 3 potential Dominators per lineup. We have two heavy hitters for chalk place differential plays, but we also have a couple heavy hitter dom options today as well. So let's go ahead and pull up the NASCAR Stone. I call this version I show here on the screen NASCAR Stoned because I block out the projections normally when I do this. In case it's like a wild card type of race, then I don't really mind. But for regular races, I do block everything out. So here is the NASCAR Stoned edition. And as you can see, once again, it is a Team Penske week as Ryan Blaney led the important part of practice, which is the 25 and 30 lap average of practice. Him and teammate Joey Logano were 1 and 2 in those aspects of practice, with Blaney ending up in the pole and qualifying, and Logano top 10. Those two, I think, are your top dom plays for the day. Excellent short flat tracks. Newsflash, it's probably going to be the same next week as well. These short flat tracks, they meaning Penske, really dominate at. So don't be surprised to see Logano and Blaney and or any other of their Team Penske teammates on top of the dom plays next week for New Hampshire as well. Not too much to write home with during practice. This was a split practice session that is coming to an end, I believe, next week. I believe next week is New Hampshire. So this weekend should be the last time we see the split off group practice sessions. And because it is a split group practice session, I'm not really loving the practice data too much. Like, yeah, I think those in group B, or how should I say it? Like I used to say it. If you're going to use the practice data to help build your player pool, I would highly recommend comparing those in group B to also those in group B, and the same with group A. Compare those with group A to group A, because track conditions change. Group A goes out first in qualifying, that type of thing. So I don't love the practice data as much as I loved it last weekend, but it's still, I think, okay to use as long as you compare the Bs to the Bs and the As to the As. Next week, we don't got to worry about that anymore, and for the rest of the season, and hopefully for the rest of I'm doing this. So yeah, hopefully. In fact, I'm going to remove that group column next week from the Stone. It's gonna make me so happy to get rid of that damn thing. But yeah, nothing really to write home for in practice. Cody Ware spun out. He broke a transaxle. No one really cares too much about him. Sorry, Cody. And really the other, not even a practice thing, but Christopher Bell's car failed inspection twice on Friday, and therefore his car chief got ejected from the event. Now, he looked kind of pedestrian in his practice session, but he still ended up qualifying 8th, and he is one of, if Blaney and Logano are 1-2 for short flat tracks, I'd say probably Bell's 3, right? Like, he's really good at this style of racetrack. So his car chief was ejected. I'm not too concerned about that. Smaller teams, I would be, because personnel is sometimes tighter, or not. They don't have too many personnel in the small teams. But for a team like Joe Gibbs, I don't care about it. Bell's car chief was ejected, and that's it. Since he didn't fail 3 times, nothing more happens. Just the car chief was ejected. He gets to keep his spot, etc., etc. So not the best practice effort for C-Bell, but still, he's excellent at these style of racetracks. So shouldn't be surprised to see him up near the front by the end of the night tonight. Let's go ahead and do a quick rundown of the starting lineup here. I'm going to, like I say this every single week, I'm going to try and be not too long-winded. Let's see how I do. Also, before I go into this, I'm not sure if we're allowed to say this, but I'm going to say this here. Your boy is locked in for at least one more full year of NASCAR content with ShipItNation.com. So if you like me, you have me for at least one more year, because I'm under contract. So I'm here for another year, at least, probably a lot longer. So if anybody was wondering, hey, what's going to happen to Eric, if anything, ever? Hey, I'm here for at least another year, locked in. I love it here at Ship It Nation, the best. Everything you need for success with DFS and life here at ShipItNation.com. Go ahead and break down the starting lineup. Ryan Blaney on the pole, no surprise there. He has clean air. If he gets out to the lead to start the race, it could be another stink show, dominating performance like we saw from him last week. So won't be surprised there. Chase Briscoe outside pole. He if Blaney slips up on the start and Briscoe gets that clean air, it could be Briscoe stinking up at least the first stage of the show. So wouldn't be surprised to see Briscoe do well. Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs up next. It's a theme here. We have Penske, Joe Gibbs on the front row, and then Penske, albeit Wood Brothers, and Joe Gibbs on the second row. Josh Berry, lame duck driver. I expect him to do well again today. I don't really consider him a dominator option just because of the season he is having, but don't get it twisted. That man could lead laps today and he could win this race. He is a talented driver. He grew up on these short, flat tracks, and he needs to do something to get him a job next year, right? So wouldn't be surprised to see Josh Berry win this thing today. Don't really consider him a dominator option just because of the season he is having, but he is good at this style of racetrack. Ty Gibbs, fast all year, won last week? Came out with a wonderful 54 M&M's paint job that he's going to run at Bristol to honor Kyle Busch with all kinds of Kyle Busch memories in it. If you are a longtime Kyle Busch fan, you will know that 54 was Kyle Busch's number when he fired up Kyle Busch Motorsports, KBM. And now that's obviously Gibbs's number and has been for a while. That's going to be really cool in Bristol in a couple of weeks to see. But we're not talking about Bristol. We're talking about Richmond. Can Ty Gibbs win Richmond? Absolutely. His track rank and track type rank don't look the best, but that's because he really hasn't been all that great in the Cup level until this season. So would not be surprised to see Gibbs do good again. William Byron and Ryan Preece up next. William Byron, I have no problem taking a shot with. He just hasn't had that performance yet this season. That's why it's so hard for me to consider him a dominator, just because they really haven't dominated this season, right? But it's Willie B in a Hendrick Chevy, so wouldn't be surprised if he does well today. Ryan Preece, I love him when he starts way in the back. I don't love him when he starts way in the front. But if you want to try to get off some of that chalk and you think it's going to be really, really hard to pass tonight, maybe take a shot on old Ryan Preece. Bubba Wallace and Chris Bell up next. Bubba looked decent in practice, middle of the road, nothing to write home about. C-Bell, we spoke about earlier. No issues with C-Bell. Brad K and Joey Logano up next. Brad K looked real good in practice at only 7,500. I don't love the fact that he was in Group A for practice, but he backed that up with a decent qualifying run. So perhaps Bad Brad has speed tonight. If you want to take the gamble, go ahead. If you don't want to take the gamble, I completely understand. Joey Logano, we spoke about him already. Fantastic in long run practice. Fantastic at short flats. Seems like he picked the speed up these past couple weeks. Would not be surprised to see him up and around the front tonight. He was leading the race in 2024 when Cannonball Austin Dillon came through and smashed him out of the way, and then right hooked Hamlin out of the way for his victory. So would not be surprised to see Logano win tonight. Connor Zilisch, John Hunter Nemechek. Zilisch had okay practice speeds, so he's hurt and burned us so much this season, so much. But he's cheap, and if he can stay where he is, because clean air is king, passing's hard type of thing, maybe he ends up being a good play. Am I probably going to play him? Probably not. Should he be in consideration for GPPs? I would consider him for GPPs. John Hunter, I don't really have much interest. Did not look great in all aspects of practice, so probably a no for me, dog for him. Chase Elliott, sure, if you want to play Chase Elliott, go ahead. Only 8,700 for Chase Elliott, which is kind of cheap, so sure. Denny Hamlin, if I wrote this in the slate plan, so I'll say it here as well. If it's not going to be, and this is my opinion, if it's not going to be Blaney or Logano today, it's going to be Denny. because this is Denny's home racetrack. And if you remember in the offseason, Denny's family had a hell of a tragedy with his mother and father's residence catching on fire. And his father lost his life because of that fire. Now, his father did have health issues as well at the same time, but, fire, right? This weekend at Richmond Raceway dedicated two seats. It's like the Hamlin family section or something. Did something really, really, really nice for Denny and Denny's mom and Denny's late father, etc. So the hometown portion of this is into play, paired with the fact that of the tragedy they had in the off season, paired with the fact that Denny Hamlin is one of the fastest cars week in and week out, and he is fantastic at Richmond. Leads me to believe if it's not going to be one of those two Penske boys, it's going to be Denny, just because Denny has a little bit more to race for today than everybody else, just because of how many Hamlin family members are and will be in attendance, and because they dedicated everything or those seats or section or whatever to his parents this past week. So if you like and go with the narrative style of things, I think Denny will be set on kill mode today and do anything he can to win this race. Next up is AJ Allmendinger and Austin Dillon. The Dinger has been impressive more than once this season, so I really can't count him out for giving us good fantasy points. I just wish he was starting at the back. Austin Dillon is the interesting one. If you remember back in 2024, 2 years ago, he was having a fantastic race at Richmond, was dominating it until the late stages where Joey Logano took the lead off of a restart. Well, I think it was the final restart, green, white, checkered, something like that. But on that, or during that, 83-year-old Austin Dillon just absolutely just shoved and drove Logano directly into the wall. And then when that happened, Denny Hamlin snuck underneath him to lead, and Dillon was like, not so fast. Dillon cut to the left and hooked him into the wall hard. So to make sure he got the victory. NASCAR did not like that. Strike that, reverse that. NASCAR did not like the moves 83 made that day and ended up letting him kept the win, but they took everything else away. like he wasn't eligible for the playoffs. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. They really put the boots to him. Last year, he led 107 laps in a clean dominating victory. So that's back-to-back victories at Richmond for Austin Dillon, which is not something you say normally on a NASCAR Cup season. So what does that mean for us today? Well, he didn't look the greatest in practice, so that's already but he qualified mid-pack 16th, and he has been really good here. The thing is, RCR really hasn't set the world on fire this year. So is he going to do it again? I'd be stunned. I'd be stunned. Is he worth a look? Yes. Do I think he's going to lead 100+ en route to victory today? I don't know, just because of how strong Penske and Joe Gibbs have been. But anything can happen in this world of NASCAR, so you never know. You have to consider him because he is the past 2 times he won this race. So, and in my opinion, RCR probably has had this race circled on their schedule for a really long time, considering how good they've done here these past 2 years. They need a spark to really brighten up their season since the passing of Kyle. So, would not surprise me to see them do whatever it takes to ensure 83 has a solid day today. Next up, Riley Herbst. No interest there. Ross Chastain looked good in practice, is also really trying to find any spark to his season. I don't mind taking a chance on him. Chris Buescher, I feel like, is always safe with our fantasy dollar. I don't feel like I never feel shook when I add Chris Buescher to the lineup, unlike, I don't know, like, I don't really have like a Ricky Stenhouse. like if I put Ricky Stenhouse in the lineup, I'm like, oh, Busher. It's like, oh, he's Busher. It's safe. So I have no problem taking a chance on Busher. Suarez and Eric Jones up next. Suarez has had surprising speed all season long and looked good in practice. So I have no problem taking a chance on Mi Amigo. Eric Jones has had a couple bright spots this season as well. I don't mind taking a shot on him. Hocevar and Cindric. Hocevar has been fast all season long. Give me Hocevar. Cindric, Team Penske. He is the furthest starting Team Penske prepared Ford. So I believe just because of that, he will see decent ownership today. It sometimes seems like he's always the odd one out. Like if you're considering Team Penske to be Blaney, Logano, Cindric, and Barry on these style of racetracks, it always seems like Cindric qualifies the deepest of the four. So will be interesting to see how he does the rest of the night tonight, because his practice did look really good. His car should be prepared the same. They were in the same meetings, etc., etc. So like in all, he should have a good day today, but that remains to be seen. Zane Smith and Alex Bowman up next. Zane Smith, I have zero interest in. Alex Bowman, I have zero interest in. Bowman he's a lame duck. I'm really surprised they're keeping him in the car all next season. He's 6,700 and he's a Hendrick Motorsports driver. Tells you all you need to know. Todd Gilliland and who would I miss? Zane Smith, Alex Bowman. Zane Smith, no. Alex Bowman, no. Mike Mack, he looked decent in practice. I don't know. He always seems like, much like when I said Austin Cindric seems to be the slow one of Team Penske. It seems like Mike Mack is the slow one of Spire. So he looked good in practice. I don't know how much I'm going to get of him today in the slates. Todd Gilliland, it's Gilly. I don't love his practice speeds. I don't love really much about anything of him on the stone, but it's Gilly. I consider him kind of safe, like I do Chris Buescher safe, so no issues there. Stenhouse and Cole Custer, no for me. And the chalk is up next. Larson, SVG, and Tyler Reddick. Larson, now these three drivers were in Group A practice and then qualified early as well. Larson looked good in Group A practice. A's across the board, has had a really, really, really successful week in a sprint car. Those two have nothing to do with one another, minus the fact that Larson has won a lot already this week. I think that really boosts Larson's mood when he comes into a cup race, and he's already won like 4 races for like close to 75 grand altogether. So I don't love the fact that he's starting so deep and like passing is so hard in this next gen car, but he should give us a good day today. And if he doesn't, I hope he wrecks out early and he gets his ass back to Knoxville. But Cup Series is more important, especially for us, for our fantasy dollar. A hard and long day ahead for Young Money. Let's see what he can do. Shane Van Gisbergen has been impressive on the ovals this season, in my opinion. Way, way, way better than I thought he'd be this season. 6,400 looked okay in practice. Besides Reddick, I think he is in the best car. Yeah, I would say that. Besides Reddick, he's in the best car. That's all the way back here. So, and he's cheap at 6,400. So I have no problems with SVG. Red Dog, he's B's across the board. He looked good in practice. It sounds like sometimes he struggles on these short flat tracks. But still, you can't, like if you're playing cash games, like he's an automatic click in my opinion. If you were playing tournaments, maybe he's the one you want to pivot off of. Not saying that for sure, but I think a very chalky start of all lineups today are going to be Blaney, Larson, SVG, and Reddick. I think if you pivot off of one of those 3 chalky guys in the back, that could be the difference between shipping a solo shipper or chopping it like 77 ways. So I like those 3 guys as well, but I do think you can pivot off of them and not be too concerned. And then the back, Austin Hill. No, sorry. Ty Dillon. If you're looking for, no, I'm going to take that back. Yeah, actually, if you're looking for like super cheap play, I don't mind Ty Dillon. Practice looked okay. I don't think he's a 10th like a true 10th place fastest car, the 10 lap average. I just think, how everything shook out. But Dinger has impressed some this year, and he's in the same equipment as Ty. So, and Ty's brother Austin does fantastic here. So if you're looking for reasons to save some money and you need a super cheap driver to click on, I don't mind Ty Dillon, even though I'm not really considering him in play. Austin Hill, no. Noah Gregson, he looked slow all across the way, and I was stunned. He signed a new contract with Front Row to drive next year as well. I thought for sure he was going to be out looking for a ride, and they would bring Lane Riggs up. I don't know why they didn't. Maybe they know something I don't. I'm sure they do. They're working on this stuff all day, but I don't know. I didn't see any reason why Noah Gregson should have a contract extension. And then Josh Bilicki and Cody Ware, no and no. So, all right, that's it for me for today. It is 9:43 as I'm about to click the end on this button. And as of now, no drivers have been sent to the rear, but I'm not really expecting that information to come out until much later on anyway throughout the day. So any questions for me, as always, please feel free to hit me up on Discord. I am about to go do some errands and then settle in for a long day of race watching, starting with the Knoxville Nationals, ending with the Knoxville Nationals with a NASCAR Cup race there in the middle. So good luck in all your slates today. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and ask. And as always, let's ship it.